Hey everyone, and welcome. So, if you're getting ready for your very first winter here on campus, you have come to the perfect place. We are going to break down how to not just get through it, but to actually love the legendary Syracuse winter. Let's dive right in. So, first off, welcome to the Q's. We know that for a lot of you, especially if you're from somewhere a little, well, warmer, the whole idea of a real winter might be a new, maybe even a little bit of a scary concept. But don't you worry, we have got your back. All right, let's just get the big number out of the way. 120 inches. Yep, that's the average amount of snow we get here every single year. But hey, don't let that number freak you out. Think of it less like a warning and more like, an initiation into a very cool club. Making it through a Syracuse winter, that's a true badge of honor. To really take on the cold, you're gonna need the right equipment. We like to call it your winter armor, and it really all begins with what you wear. This is, without a doubt, your first line of defense. Okay, so the real secret to staying warm, and I mean genuinely warm, is all about layering. It's a three-step system. First, you've got your base layer, something like a thermal shirt. Its job is to pull moisture away from your skin. Then you've got your mid-layer, which is for insulation, so think a fleece or a nice cozy sweater. And then the most important piece, a waterproof, windproof outer jacket. This whole setup traps your body heat in and keeps all that wet, cold stuff out. And you absolutely can't forget the accessories for your armor. Waterproof boots with a really good grip are non-negotiable, trust me. You will meet some icy sidewalks. A warm hat is so important, that's where you lose most of your body heat. And of course, gloves and a scarf. They're gonna save you from that biting wind when you're making the trek up the mount. So, you've got the armor, you look the part, awesome. But surviving the winter isn't just about what you're wearing, it's about how you live your life every day. So, how do you handle the daily grind when it's just plain freezing outside? Which brings us to our daily winter playbook. We're talking about the small, smart habits that are going to make a huge difference in keeping you healthy and positive during those colder and, darker months. This one might sound super obvious, but I promise you it is a total game changer. You have to check the feels like temperature, not just the number you see on the thermometer. That wind chill can make a 20-degree day feel like it's literally zero, especially on the Einhorn family walk. Knowing what you're walking into before you leave makes all the difference. Taking care of your mind and body is just as critical as putting on another layer. You've got to stay active. Even just a trip to the Barn Center at the Arch for a workout can completely boost your mood. And that cold winter air, it's incredibly dry, so you have to keep drinking water. But maybe most importantly, check in with your friends. It's so easy to just hole up and hibernate, but staying connected is absolutely key. So plan a study session, or just go grab a hot chocolate together at people's place. All right, this is great. You're dressed for success, you're taking care of yourself. But what about the actual practical challenge of getting from your dorm all the way to that 9 a.m. lecture when there's a foot of fresh snow on the ground? And that leads us to our final section of pro tips, how to navigate a completely frozen campus. Because, let's be real, getting around requires a whole different strategy when everything is covered in white. First things first, get to know the campus shuttle schedule. I'm serious, those buses will be your absolute best friend during a snowstorm. And always give yourself extra time to get to class. Walking through snow just takes longer and buses can get delayed. Here's a pro tip. Learn the indoor routes. You can cut through buildings like the Life Sciences Complex to get almost anywhere without having to face the cold. And please just watch your step for those sneaky icy patches, especially first thing in the morning. So, now that you have all the tools you need to survive, let's talk about how to thrive. It's time to reframe this whole thing, to turn a challenge into something you'll actually remember as an amazing experience. It is time to embrace your #OrangeWinter. And really, that's what it all comes down to. A Syracuse winter can be unbelievably beautiful. The campus looks like something out of a movie when it's covered in snow. So bundle up, get out there, and explore. Go skating over at Tennedy Ice Pavilion, find a good hill for sledding. Before you know it, you'll be a seasoned pro, and you'll be the one passing this advice down to next year's rookies. So if you remember anything, remember these two things. Stay warm and stay orange. Because this is so much more than just a season. It's a huge part of the Syracuse experience. And finally, make sure you stay connected with all of us. Follow @AIGSNCU for all the latest updates, and we definitely want to see your winter adventures. So share your photos and stories using the #OrangeWinter. Welcome to Syracuse. You've got this.